Hello, welcome to the podcast. Today I have a special guest named Berid Ohana. She's calling us all the way from New Zealand. She is the owner of Success Engineering Business Coaching, and she is a business coach, and she has been in the business for about 5 years. And welcome, Berid. Please tell us a little bit more about your bio.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. It's lovely to be here with you. So I'm Vera Dohana, originally from Israel, but I moved to New Zealand about 6 years ago after living in Australia for 10 years. And I'm working as a business coach. My background is from engineering and MBA, so management. But I learned also coaching, NLP, master NLP, and I put all this together as I help business owners in their businesses.
Oh, wonderful. So I think that you would be very useful to our audience. As I said, we have this Facebook group called Supercharge Your Business Growth. And I like to bring on interesting people who can help people who are just getting started in business, or maybe they've been in business for a while, small business owners. Some of them have stores, some of them are real estate professionals, accounting professionals, engineers. I mean, not engineers, but electricians. Some maybe like plumbers. Some may be health coaches like myself. Some may be social media managers. But they all have one thing in common. They all have a business. They each have a business that they want to have grow and be successful. So as a business coach, what type of businesses do you usually consult with?
So I normally help businesses that are in a growth phase. Either they're just starting and looking to grow their business, or they're already an established business, but they want to take the business to the next level. So it could be if you're on your own and starting to have a team, it's a completely different way of handling the business when you have a team. So it's some support with regards to leadership and support with how you get the best results from a team and creating a team that is actually performing very high, with very high performance, but also for people who just started. And what I found is that a lot of people that are just starting the business is just the first steps of where do I go? What is it that I need to do? What sort of strategies can I do to grow my business? So these are the things that I help them with. And what I see that is a little bit different to other business coaches, which I do, is to me, it's really important that the business owner is actually connected to their passion, that whatever they do in their business, it's something that really touches their heart, that gives them a very big why of why is it that they want to do that. And I'm working a lot with businesses that want to give something to the world, whether it's the message, if it's coaches, if it's people in the health, areas, it's people in, even food that they're preparing to give people something special that is out there. So all sorts of things. It could be products, it could be services that people have. But what I help them is really, first of all, also take their business or to be their actual dream business, to dream as big as they can, to make it more than what they thought that they can. Because a lot of times what we do, we look at the circumstances that we have, and based on that, we try to determine what is it that we can do. So for example, if I don't have a lot of money, I don't allow myself to think big with my business. And what I encourage people is to think as big as you can. Then we figure out the steps of how to do that. But first is figuring out the why, and the why and the what.
Okay. So what are your three big tips, the three best tips that you could give us right now?
Yeah, so the three top tips that I can give, the first thing is have real clear vision for your business. Know what is it that you would love to have in your life. Know why is it that you want to do that, and create a vision that you're really excited about, that you don't just feel, yeah, it's good, it's okay, but you're really excited. When you think about it, you want to jump out of bed every morning and go for it. Not just a job that you're doing because you have to do or for the money that it gives you, but for a real reason that really makes you feel excited about it. And when you have that vision, have it as clear as possible with the most amount of details that you can. So who is it that you're going to help? How are you helping them? Um, how much money do you want to make? But not for the money, but what is it that you're going to do with that money? What stands behind that? And to me, once you have that vision and you can, go as big as you can, you have a way to go. And clarity is the first step in any business that you want to have in order to take the steps to the right direction. Otherwise, if you just, start without knowing where you're going, you might by mistake succeed or not. And most likely, if you do have that clear vision, you will succeed. Even if it takes you some time, you will succeed.
Okay.
And the second tip, so that's the first one. The second one is consistency and determination is very important, because once you have that clarity of where you're going, life comes along the way and changes things for us. Even if you have the best plan in the world, you start, working through that plan and things happen. And then all of a sudden you did not get approval for something, or the client, your biggest client, all of a sudden decides to move to another company, or all of a sudden the bank giving you different conditions than before. So the important thing is to remember what was your dream, why is it that you wanted to do that, and to keep going forward and not to give up and say, well, that's it, something happened and that's it, I'm going to go. So when you're determined and going through all that sort of stuff, when the dream is big enough and you're connected and you're passionate about it, you just keep going, no matter what comes your way. And you know about all the success stories of a lot of very famous people that had to go through a lot of rejections, a lot of failures even, in order to get to their dreams. So consistency again, and determination are another big tip to make sure that you have that. And part of that is also related to successful mindset. So in our mindset, we think we have a lot of limiting beliefs sometimes. And when we think in a certain way that I cannot do something, you will be right, you will not be able to do that. But at the same time, if you believe that, yes, you can do that, you will be able to do that. Everything that comes along with that will show you that you can do that. So again, working on mindset is another thing, for example, that you can work with a coach like me on clarifying what is it that stops you, because a lot of times we are our own enemies in the fact that we are holding ourselves back in a place that we could move forward. So, but it's so deep inside us that we don't even see that. So when you work with a coach that can highlight, oh, you said something about money, for example, you want to have money, but you have a limiting belief, for example, that money is not a good thing. So when you have something like that, you want to achieve, but you have a limiting belief, they are sort of clashing with one another. So through working together, that can be cleared out. So you will be able to actually withdraw from anything, the things that are good for you will come to you.
Yes. And
And
I don't mean to stop you because I know you have a third tip, but
sure.
you have training in NLP. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. So NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, and that is basically talking about us humans basically are functioning just like a computer. So our mind it has all this programming of according to things that we learned in our past. So for example, if when we were 4 years old, something happened to us and we are afraid now to stand in public, for example, and talk to people, we will feel even later in life that, well, I cannot stand in front of people, even if I don't know why. I just cannot do that. So when it comes to business and I'm a business owner and I want to go and negotiate with people, I feel lack of confidence. In order to gain confidence, there are techniques in NLP that can help you break these limiting beliefs and creating new beliefs. A lot of that is, it could be about anything. It could be fear from all sorts of things. It could be beliefs of what is good and what is bad and how do you change that. So the beliefs that are working for you, that's great. Keep them. But the ones that are not working for you, this is where NLP can actually help and help you look into them and start breaking them in a way that is sustainable and creating new beliefs that help you move forward with what you want. And a lot of people could be afraid of even success. So when you want a successful business, but some people that I work with, for example, a client of mine said, yes, that dream is great and I'm excited about it, but I'm afraid that if I will have that big business, I will not have time for my kids, I will not have time for my family. So that is a belief that is actually holding her back from moving forward with that business. So when we looked into that, we said, okay, first of all, let's see how can that be different. So when you actually build your business, when we have a plan to build it, and we're looking into the time, because when we're building the plan, we are not focusing just on the business. It's looking into how it impacts our lives and what is it that we want as part of that. So if you want more time, how do you build the business in a way that supports that? So when you go to a bigger business, it doesn't necessarily translate to having a lot of your time invested into that. It could actually mean that you build a way that you have support to help you take some things that grow the business even further while you have time to spend with your family or to do other things that you like to do.
Right. I mean, more success means you have more money, so you can hire more staff.
Correct, exactly. And for a lot of people, it's just thinking in a certain way, and it's just challenging the way that they're thinking, because a lot of times we don't even realize that. But when you start looking into that and say, yes, but I don't want to do that, and why don't I want to do that? Because it's going to be too big, and what am I going to do? It's going to be overwhelming. Well, actually, not necessarily, if you have the right way to deal with that.
I find that even with myself, sometimes you'll repel client because maybe like I'm repelling clients because I'm afraid to work with them or something. You know, that's
And then and why are you afraid to work with
because
them,
it's
for
a time
example?
commitment and I'm going to have to be like married to the person. I'm going to be their coach. So I'm going to be married to the person in a way for like the next 6 months. And it's a big commitment. So, it's sort of like pressure up front.
Exactly. So with that, this is in your mind. That's the only way to work with customers, that you have to be sort of married to them and give them that commitment of time. But what if, for example, you set the way that you coach these clients in a way that you set up the rules in advance and you say, well, on these days you have this amount of hours that you can contact me, or these times that you can contact me. Keep your questions for these times and then ask me what you need. And we have our normal setup of time that we meet. So you can create a way that gives you what you want. But if that goes back to the first point of having the clarity of what is it that you want. Because when you say, well, I want to have clients, but I also want to have time. So you can say, okay, I can set it up in that way that will allow me to have that. For example, I can decide that I only want to work 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Because as a business owner, you have that place that you can actually influence how you work, and you are the one that creates the rules around the time of your work, the number of clients that you want to have, the amount of money you want to achieve. What is it that you want to achieve with that money? Do you want to go to vacations? Do you want to build a new house? What is your dream behind that? So you don't just work for the sake of work. You have the complete picture of what you want to achieve, and then the business helps you with that.
Yeah, I go uh my ideal client is a busy executive that's like a high profile person. And I picture this person, they have their work life together, but at home, they're like the absent minded professor and they need some structure and they need some coaching to get, into good, perfect health. So, as a health coach, that's my ideal client. And I was thinking like, well, what if my dad walks into my office unannounced? Well, that's because I'm living with an elderly person. So I was thinking, oh, that's not going to be professional. But the real truth is that you can tell your client in advance. I think of the client, it's a high profile person, and if that happens, oh, they're just going to drop the coaching program altogether. No, you tell them up front, I'm taking care of elderly parents, and sometimes they don't they don't do things, thoughtfully because they're elderly and maybe their mind is not 100%. So I apologize in advance if he walks in one day during our session. So this way, the person is, like already prompted, and that takes away my fear of even looking for a client.
Exactly. That is exactly the point of things that you can work on. And just by clarifying in advance and having the expectations there and saying, yes, I acknowledge your time and I put all my time into that and help you and support you during the session. But these are the circumstances. And once you know about it, people actually like to work with people that are authentic. And this is being the most authentic and open with, this is what I'm working with, but I'm giving you all myself and everything that I can in the session. So there is no reason, once you know that and the other person knows that, they will say, okay, doesn't matter how high level job they have, or if they're the CEO or whatever it is that they are, they will appreciate that, because I'm sure that they understand they are humans too.
Yes. I mean, no,
And
people have their Facebook profile and their LinkedIn profile, and they're showing the best foot forward, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
exactly. And as you work with them as well, with their health, the reason, that they probably don't have that balance. So they can understand that, well, you do have family around you, you do have other things other than work that are important as well. So as they understand that, you actually demonstrating that yes, your work is really important. You put everything that you have into that, and you have circumstances that if that will happen, they will accept that.
So
Of
that's
course, if it's every set, sorry?
so that's just an example of a mindset barrier
Absolutely.
that somebody might have, in the back of their mind. This is subconscious. This is going on subconsciously that's repelling you, that's causing you to repel clients. Um,
Exactly.
can you think of another example for maybe like a different type of business?
Yes, absolutely. So another example of not taking clients is basically someone that is thinking, so other than being busy and things that I found a lot of people that are doing that, I had another person, she was doing, she's making cakes basically. And initially when we started working, she said, well, I just want to make more cakes, but I'm limited to how much I can make as part of that,
Mhm.
because they need to be, she's doing also part-time other job. So this is her part-time to move to her business. And I said, yes, but where is your dream? We started with a vision. What is the dream? And the dream is not that other business. And I said, well, if it's growing to be really big business, it means that you don't need the other part-time business, part-time work, and you can work in your business full-time. And this is actually your dream to do that full time. And as part of that, looking into, okay, so doing the cakes is one thing, but what are other channels of income that you can have? And we started creating additional channels within her work of what she is doing. And actually, part of that, she is now doing also classes for teaching people to do that. And then that means that in one class, she can teach few people rather than, and they get to take home, what they make in the class. And she actually works less time, making more money, and doing something that she loves. And following from there, we developed that even further, and we created a special events that she is now doing that no one did before. So you can come up with completely new strategies. And now she's running with that, and it's very, very successful. So to me, the places that we are fearful from, if we acknowledge them, this is our opportunity to grow. Actually, every problem that we think we have, I really believe that this is something pointing to us. This is your growth opportunity. This is where your next strategy to grow your business will come from. So listening to these, all the fears is not just, okay, I'll just put it aside, because that doesn't help. When we try to put our, emotions to the side, they just grow and we feel even more afraid to do that. So it's actually acknowledging them and say, okay, so what can I do about it? Rather than I cannot do that. So what is it that I can do? How can I work around that or with that? And
Right.
when you ask a different question, you find a different answer.
Very good. And what was the third tip?
And the third tip is what I found with a lot of business owners as well, is that they believe that they have to do everything on their own. It's like, well, it's my business. I have to deal with everything on my own. And I think that getting support, whatever the support is, it could be, you know, having admin support. If you're drowning in paperwork, for example, and you don't enjoy doing that. So what is the core of your business and how can you focus on what is it that you bring that value? The rest of the stuff, let's look into how that can be done, maybe by support of others, but also support of like a coach can support because, you know, you have ideas and not necessarily you have people around you that understand that or talk to you about your business. So your family is probably supporting you and you have friends that support you. But what if you come up with ideas that are, you know, innovative ones that are, you know, no one did that before. Like this client of mine that, you know, came up together, we came up with this new strategy to go to something that no one did before. So you can compare that. And everyone around her told her, you know, how can you do that? Who would come to that? But when you have, you know, someone like a coach by your side that really has your back and think of your best, how can you grow with your business? They will tell you the truth. And sometimes the truth can be, you know, maybe not what you want to hear, but that will be what will take you forward. And I think another example is a client of mine that came with packages that were really beautiful, but she had an explanation about the product that was just like an A4 paper that has a lot of written words, a lot of them, that explains about all the benefits of this paper. And as we know, people's span of attention is very short. I told her, no one will look into that. It's not eye-catching. So your package is so beautiful, but reading about the benefits in a paper that looks like, you know, black and white, nothing interesting there, people will not read that and they're missing on what the benefits of your product are. And instead of that, we designed just a barcode and creating that explanation in short, simple things that are with pictures that are nice to see. So that actually creates more attention for people to be able to, oh, okay, and now I can see that. But it doesn't, you know, it's easy to take your phone because this is what most people do these days. Get to read that if they want. If they don't want, they have just one short sentence about all the benefits, and that's enough for them to understand the benefits. So sometimes it's just looking into how do you do things a little bit differently. And when you work with a coach, again, when I told her that at first, she was like a little bit offended way. So when you work with a coach, basically they are there to really guide you through what is beneficial for you. They're always thinking about you, about your business, about your life as well, how you create the best thing. Especially with me, I'm working, as I said, with what is it that you're passionate about. So when you're able to be in a position that you do something that you're passionate about, it gives you everything that you want, the time, the money, the, you know, the time with your family. How do you create the environment? You have the right mindset. You're in such a better position, you know, and a lot of people are afraid of getting the support or thinking that, oh, it means that I cannot do that on my own. But think about all the athletes, all the great athletes have a coach, because when we're working on our own, we're working within our comfort zone. Yes, we may stretch that a little bit, but we are basically staying in the comfort zone. When you have someone that, like a coach, just like in sport, they tell you, no, you have to do a little bit further, run faster, do that in a shorter time, get more money, do a higher goal. They're there to support you through that. And, you know, great athletes have coaches and they reach higher success and greater results. It's just the same with business, you know? You are in business, you get the support, and it doesn't mean that you have to be in a problem to get support. And I think that's a big tip, because I think a lot of people think only when I get into trouble, then I might look for help, but that could be too late. If you get the support from the beginning, you know you set yourself for success from the start, and you get the support along the way, and you get to better positions all the time.
Sounds great. So let me just let people know how to get a hold of you if they want to get that support from you.
Sure.
Your
So,
website?
yep.
Yes, so your website is successengineering.co.n, like Nancy,
Dot
Zealand,
NZ.
right, like New Zealand, right.
Exactly. So successengineering.co.nz.
Okay. And I have your email address. It's kind of the same, successengineeringnz@gmail.com.
Correct.
Is that how you
Yes.
want people to get a hold of you, is by email?
Yes, that would be fantastic. And yeah, we can always have a short chat just to understand where you're at, what you're doing, or, and if I can help you and to get to your business to be in a place that you want it to be, to get it to get your dream to be even bigger. And remember, a lot of people are getting stuck in good,
Yes.
but the good is really the enemy of great. You can go for great. Don't settle for good.
Very good. So I would like to say what I do as well that's related to this is I do an ideal client avatar session with you. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're a business owner and it's always very helpful to know exactly, be so clear on your ideal client avatar, because that will really boost your business. So this is how what I do can kind of complement what Vera does. And you can always reach me through my Facebook page. I am I'm the person who's the admin for the group Supercharge Your Business Growth. And my email is carol@wowappeal.shop. All right. So thank you, Vered. It was so good having you on the show. And
Thank you so much, Carolyn.
I look forward
Yes,
to publishing it and sharing it with you.
fantastic. Thank you so much for that. It was a pleasure.
Okay. Thank you. Let me just stop
Thank you.
recording real quick.
Yeah.